You should be able to hit the record button. It should be in the center at the very bottom.
I've got it.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you so much, Stacy.
I was just going to do it from my computer, but okay. So welcome to our last innovation exchange of the year, I guess. We are happy to welcome John Dean and Guillermo Tonsmann to talk to us about online proctoring. So I will give John the floor, and actually, if you want me to take care of this, I'll stand here, I guess.
That'd be great. I'll just tell you to move down when necessary. My name is John Dean. I'm in the computer science department. I'm the department chair, and Guillermo will be joining me. He's also in the computer science department. He'll be doing a demo later on, and I'll be giving an overview about what's been going on in terms of online proctoring. Starting this coming fall, all online courses will have the opportunity to have their final exams proctored. So that's what this is all about. And if you go to the next slide, and you can see an overview of what we'll be talking about. So that's what we'll be talking about. I'll start off with a little background information, and then we'll talk about policies and procedures. These are tentative at this point. And then I'll quickly show you possible master syllabus verbiage, and then we'll have a 5-minute video which shows the student's perspective of what to expect if they're getting online proctoring for their final exam. And then finally, we'll have a demo of what an online developer would have to do in order to create a final exam that's proctored. And Guillermo will be doing the demo. Next slide. So a little background information. And I got this information from one of Parks Council's, Ashley Morgan, I think that's her last name. And she has indicated that the trend among universities and the trend among government agencies is to have more assurance for academic integrity. In particular, North Central's HLC, at a minimum, they require a secure login and a passcode. And we're already doing that, as you guys know. We've got Canvas, and so students have to log in. But that's the minimum. And a lot of schools are doing more than that these days, and we want to follow along with that trend. That's why we want to have online proctoring. So in addition to just authenticating that the student is who they say they are, we want to make sure that the student isn't cheating while they're taking the exam. If you want more details, you can click on that link, but don't bother, Stacy. That's from the government, and so they're thinking this is a big deal. With all the online institutions out there, it's important that we have assurance of academic integrity. So next slide, please. So a little history. Originally, when online courses started at Park University, I think, but I could be wrong about this, I think that there was a mandate by the faculty that said that all online courses had to have proctoring for their final exams. And I know that most online courses did have proctoring, and it was a big deal, as most of you guys can remember. The students had to go to a face-to-face campus center or do something else. And so we had that for a number of years. And then fall 1, 2014, it became official that we no longer were required to do that. And so at that point, there was some sporadic proctoring. But for the most part, we haven't had much proctoring for our online courses since then. With that in mind, some of the folks at Park University thought, well, maybe we should have proctoring. And so there was, we had pilot studies, and I was involved in those pilot studies. Guillermo did most of the work for those. He actually taught a lot of those courses that we had the pilot studies for. We had a few teachers from the math department who taught some of those courses. And then we also had other teachers in computer science who taught some of the courses in the pilot study. So Stacy, if you click on the comparison report link, and this is a report, it's a small font, don't worry about it. I'm not going to go through all the details. But basically, after looking at quite a few vendors at a high level, we drilled down to 3 vendors, which we thought were promising. And so we did pilot studies for ProctorU, Examity, and also RP Now. And we did those summer 2015, and then somewhere in between that and summer 2016. So we did 3 pilot studies over multiple terms. And here are the results. The overview, I'm not going to go into the details here, but ProctorU came out ahead. It's very good in terms of integration with Canvas, and it was better than the other ones in terms of the most important thing, and that is making sure that the students don't cheat. The other two vendors, they did an okay job. We felt the ProctorU did the best job at that. The other thing that ProctorU did the best at was having reporting after the students took their exams, and we need to make sure that if there were problems, then the teacher knows about the problems and can do something about it. And they were prompt with their reporting, and they had full videos, and it was really helpful. The prices were comparable to all three. Okay, that's enough for there, so you can shut that down. So we had the pilot studies, and then we brought the results to the Senate. We proposed a recommendation to the Senate, and this is this past fall, and the Senate approved the recommendation. And there's a link there that we can look at the recommendation, but I don't think it's really worth it. The Senate approved it. Basically, it said that they are in support of online proctoring, and they support using ProctorU. And then the Senate passed the recommendation along to the provost. Provost took a look at it. I think he made a few tweaks, and it was approved. And there's an online proctoring task force. And we've been working for, I don't know, 6 months or so. And in conjunction with the provost, we've been working on policies and procedures. And that's where we are now. If you can go to the next slide. So these are some of the things that the task force has determined along with the provost. And the biggest thing is the first item, and that is that it's now going to be required, starting in the fall 2017 term, it'll be required that if the final exam for a course counts for at least 33% of the overall grade, then that course must have online proctoring. That's not a very high bar. There aren't that many courses that have 33%. Well, guess what? Our department does, because we want this. But in addition to that, if departments want to opt in, then they're able to do that. They simply submit their request to PDL. And our department has submitted quite a few courses, and other departments have submitted some as well. And if you click on that link there, you'll get the list of the courses that were in place a month or so ago. That's been updated. As of a couple hours ago, Greg Rose, who's here right now, he said he updated the list a little bit ago, and the website will be updated in the next day.
Try the refresh circle right up above
my
help
gosh.
there, above help.
How is this for
Try
dynamic?
that. Let's see.
Look at that.
There you go.
Greg is a
Cool.
superstar. Look at that. So we've got about 30 or so
Yes.
courses that are scheduled for ProctorU online proctoring in the fall. And Greg and I, before the presentation began, we estimated there might be about 600 students who will be subject to this. That's good enough. We need to move along here. Okay, next slide. Oh, sorry, the previous slide says that once a year, departments can get on that list. Now, this is regardless of whether they have 33% weight for the final exam. Any course can get on that list, but you can only do it once a year. And Greg sent out an email a while ago asking students about, asking departments if they wanted to opt in. That was sent out March 1st, and he did get some replies, but it'll be, another year before you can get in again. So that's the policy now. Next slide. Payment options. Let's see, students can pay with a credit card if they want, or they can go through MBS. MBS we learned about more recently, so that's kind of a nice option. Alex.
Why is the opt-in once per year?
Greg?
That was a decision made by Becky Studeville, Associate Vice President or Associate Vice Provost. And we just figured that to manage the process a little better, we would have a once a year call to be opt-in or out.
So if a
And that
course
was kind
is
of her
developed
decision.
after this date, like I'm doing, and then it will be,
Well, I think for a new course development, we would certainly look at that.
okay, so it's not a requirement of ProctorU or anything like that. This is just a arbitrary decision on our part so that we don't have people rolling in and out of the program.
That's correct.
Yeah, it is a bit of a burden to roll in and out because of Canvas. But hopefully that process will become easy after a while. Jared Flaherty is on the task force and
If I may say something,
yeah.
Also because we need to provide expected number of students that will be using the system, so Proctor, you can handle the resources and know what the budget for the income is. So that's another reason why it is only once a year.
And the next item up there talks about the possibility that some students might not be comfortable with online proctoring at their home. And we did experience a little bit of this during the pilot studies, in particular for some of the military students who are in other countries. There weren't that many students who worried about that, and it'll become less of an issue as time goes on, because all of you guys are aware that very often you'll have a tech support person taking control of your computer a little bit. Greg had his hand up.
Yeah, sorry. The payment option is now students will not pay.
Okay.
The park is going to pay for their proctoring. And that was a decision from Brian Bodie, the CFO, saying we'll find the money for this and we don't want students to be extra burdened on that. So that's been updated.
No
Good.
fee. No
Correct.
fee
For the
on a
student.
class.
That's good.
We'll pay this fee up front to proctor you for the student.
Right, so those classes will not, the students will not see a difference in price between classes with it or without.
Yeah, yes, that saves $20. Thank you. I wasn't aware that was official yet. There was discussion. Good.
Pretty sure.
So if the student is uncomfortable with ProctorU at their home, then as an alternative, they could try to contact a campus center, and the campus center would try to accommodate the student using ProctorU at the campus center. There's no guarantee that the campus center will be able to do that, but that's a possibility. Another possibility is that the student could do it the old-fashioned way, which is where they contact a superior officer if they're in the military, or they contact a librarian, a certified librarian, and they can get a face-to-face proctor. This is what was done in the old days. It's a bit of a hassle. Hopefully we won't have too many students that do that, but we wanted to provide that as an option. Next slide. And then the task force has been working on verbiage for the master syllabus. We want to make sure that the students, when they're signing up for the course, that they don't freak out later in the semester. So you can click on the draft link or not, because no, it's probably like 2 pages of text, and we need to be quick here. So that's about it for my slides. So next we're going to have a short video. It'll be a 5-minute video, and then after that we'll have Guillermo doing a demo. So this is go ahead and click on that. This will be the student's perspective. You want to turn on the, I'm not sure if it's going to work. You probably want to expand it and click play. So the student would receive an email telling them to click on a
If you're
link.
using a Windows machine, follow these simple steps to get connected to your Proctor. First, click the download button to download the ProctorU applet. In most browsers, this will automatically save to your downloads folder. You should see it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Double-click the file support-logmeandrescue to connect with your Proctor. You may see a prompt that asks you to run the file. Just go ahead and click Run. This is the ProctorU applet. Proctor will soon connect to you, and you will see them appear on the main page back over here. If you are using a Mac computer, follow these simple steps to get connected with your Proctor. First, click the download button. In most browsers, this will automatically start the download, and it will go to your downloads folder. You will see it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Double-click the zip file to extract the ProctorU applet. The file you're looking for is called support-logmeandrescue. Double-click it, and you'll get connected with your Proctor. You may see a prompt asking you for permission to run the file because it was downloaded from the internet. Go ahead and click Open. This is the ProctorU applet. Soon, a proctor will pick you up, and you will see them on your main screen back over here. Please note that it can take up to 2 minutes for your proctor to connect to you. If you are having trouble locating the applet, go up to the top right of your screen and click the magnifying glass. You can type in support-logmeandrescue, and it will bring up the file for you.
Hello,
and welcome to Proctor U. Your proctor will connect with you shortly. Here are a couple things you may do to prepare for your testing session. Please keep in mind that the allotted time for your exam will not start until the test is unlocked by the proctor, which will happen after your workspace is secure and your identity has been authenticated. Please have your photo ID ready for the camera. Please clear your workspace of any materials not authorized for your exam. If you have any questions about what is permitted for your test, your proctor will answer those when they connect. If your webcam is built into your monitor or laptop, you'll need to have a reflective surface available, such as a mirror or a DVD before your session begins. Please be sure you're in a quiet, well-lit, and private room. Please position your camera so that we may see your entire face from chin to forehead. Please ensure that your proctor can see all entrances and exits. During your exam, please follow your proctor's instructions and refrain from reading your questions aloud. Good luck on your exam, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Hi, Laura. My name is Kendria, and I'll be the proctor assisting you today. Are you able to hear me clearly?
I sure can. Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get you started. To begin today, I just need to see a copy of your photo identification.
Of course.
Thank you so very much. I do appreciate that. Now, if I could borrow your mouse for just 1 second, I'll go ahead and get us started on step 3 on your screen, which is the authentication process. Is that okay?
Of course.
All right, if you would, please fill in the requested information here and then click Authenticate Me. It'll then bring you to a 4-question quiz. If you would, just please answer those to the best of your ability.
Those are standard questions that you can get from
Okay.
governmental
Great,
agencies.
thank you so very much.
Proctor
Let's
U
go ahead and
gets them
close out of that.
from the
If I
government.
could borrow your mouse for just 1 moment, I just need to double check.
Like
that
old
you have no
addresses.
cloned or duplicated monitors, as well as no programs open that are not allowed for your test. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so very much. I do appreciate that. Now, if you could, please pan your camera around the room for me. That way I can see the big area that you're testing in, as well as the desk or table you're working at today.
Certainly. How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you so very much. Now, do you have a mirror or something else reflective you can use to show me the edges of your computer monitor?
I do.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. I do appreciate that. Now, if I could borrow your mouse really quickly, I'll just go ahead and get you navigated to your testing website,
Okay.
and I'll unlock your exam for you. When you're done, if you would, just let me know once you're ready to submit. That way I can walk you through the submission and the logout process. Do you have any questions or concerns I could address for you before you begin?
None at all.
Okay, great. Well, good luck on your assessment. We'll chat again once you're done.
Thank you.
And next up is Guillermo for a short demo.
Okay, so
Okay, so we stopped sharing our screen, so it should be up to you now.
okay. This is the website for ProctorU.
Okay.
Can you see that?
No, we can't.
You should be able, at the bottom of the screen, there should be a in the-
Yeah, I got that, and what about now?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. So every instructor who's teaching a course that is going to be Proctor has to be registered with ProctorU. So you will go to proctoru.com and you can open an account. Once the account is open, it will remain open until ProctorU no longer exists, I guess. You will be given a password and a logon ID like in many other products. So you will go inside with those with that information. I already logged in before that, so you won't see that, but that's the same as in any other account. And this is the screen that you have initially as the faculty who prepares an exam to be proctored. You have different levels of access. Currently, I am an instructor, so I got the access levels to exams that I create and any one that I created so far. There will be other levels of access, like the administrator, that can check which departments do we have for Park University that are joining. At the moment, I think it's math, computer science, and history for what I see in the list. The departments will have different terms, and there will be instructors, those are us, and there will be exams. But we won't be able to see all of them, just the ones that we got. And so far, I got one here when I did the pilot project. So that's the one I have access to. Now, suppose I want to create a new exam. So I got add new. I just click on that, and I add an exam. And I have to give a set of information so that they will register on the system and also make the linkage to our Canvas exam. So you put the title, something descriptive like we always have for our courses. So for example, I don't know, CS365, computer networking, and then you have the semester. I usually put this, spring 2017. And then you select the department. I'm already connected, so I got our department already listed. There will be a drop down with all the departments that are related once it has been set up. And then you have to start indicating the information for the exam. When is it going to be given? And I only have this term so far, and that's the one I'll use just for testing. There will be also fill out to have a drop-down menu full there. I'm the instructor, and I can specify how long I want the test to be. As the video told you, this is the effective time that you have. So if it's 2 hours, it's 120 minutes. And you need to provide where in Canvas you have the exam. So what you will do is you will go to Canvas, get the place where you got the exam, and use the URL and put it here. So I have something there from before. It will be something like this. And every exam should have a password. I'm not sure how everybody handles that, but for this system to work properly, we have to have a password. This password prevent any student to go to the exam without being proctored. So that's why it's necessary that now all the exams that are going to be proctored have a password, and it has to be the same one here that you put on Canvas. So you will go to Canvas again, and you will put whatever password you have there, something. Now you will confirm that again, and you can have templates on courses that you have taught before, and you always have the same rules. You may create templates here. I don't have any template there, so I cannot show you that feature, but you could create ones based on the choices you will have below for the exam. So which are those choices? You can allow that the only resource is the Canvas environment, so no resources at all, or you can select computer. I don't know, can you still see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I got a message here that something on the net. Anyway, so you can have the book. Some students have text ebooks. They have the ebooks either downloaded or they may have it on the website. You can click here and select yes. I want them to allow them to have a textbook, an ebook, either in their computers on the website. It will also help if somebody give you the URL that sometimes speed up the process. You will be having a place where you can put that information here if you have to, but it's not absolutely necessary. Then if you are going to allow for calculators, you can have different kinds of calculators allow. If you are going to allow for notes, you can tell me if it's going to be handwritten, if, index cards, or it's going to be printed, what is that you want. And again, if you need to allow more detail, you can use these boxes to indicate that. So now, some exams may allow you to go into websites that are outside of the campus environment. So you could indicate that here. If you want access to the whole internet, you mark this, but if not, you have to give a list and you have to have that in the box information, but you can pre-approve those. If they can have scratch paper or not, that's another possibility. If they are going to be allowed to use some software, for example, for us, it's very important to have software to compile programs so that they can check that the program runs or if it has an error. And we need to allow that somewhere here. Now, there is no space here for some of our software. For example, TextPad, you don't have it here. You will use this area to say, okay, allow a student to use TextPad. Now, you can also allow having bathroom breaks, or if they can use any other resources not listed here. All these choices can be set in a template, and then later on, when you have another exam, you can use the same template over and over. And it's not allow, it's allow. You need to tell also how many students you got in your class. This is just an estimate. By telling them how many students you got, it will be good enough. You don't have to be precise to the last student. Somebody may withdraw, somebody may be added. Doesn't matter. It's just for initial setup. If somebody has a special accommodation, like a student having a disability, or if you want to allow certain other special rules, you will put it here. This area is going to be read by the proctor, and the proctor will enforce it. So they will have something written there that will allow them to allow or disallow certain behavior. Now, here you have your contact information. The contact information is used for in case the proctor has a problem and he is allowed to contact you to talk. So you will give your normal information like your name or your email, and also a phone number if you want to give a phone number. And this phone number will be called if you put it there. If you don't put it, well, there is a choice that says that you must put the number. But if you block it and you say, please don't call me, they will not call you. Or if you want to say something like, call me weekdays from 9 to 5 p.m. a.m. So you can set up those and they will call you based on that restriction that you have. Now,
Guillermo,
here, yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we are running out of time. So,
Sure.
you know, technically we ended a few minutes ago. So if you could perhaps wrap it up.
I'm done. Thank you.
All right, well, that's perfect timing then. So we, you know, we don't want to keep you if you all have other things to get to, but if you have questions, then maybe John and Guillermo are willing to stay for a few more minutes.
Well, I asked Greg, because logistically, on this side of it, I see it, but I've seen the reports come back and it takes a lot of time. It can, from an instructor. So who's responsible? Is it the adjuncts? And are we going to train all the adjuncts? Because if you're not careful, you can use it inappropriately. Some of the files that come back. I've seen the files come back and you can end up as a director, if directors are responsible for it all, depending on how much they send back. They try to filter it. At least that was how it worked before. I don't know how this works. And then we also needed to look at our policies. Our policy going to support if something comes back? Does it somehow say in our student handbook, the students know what the punishment's going to be? I don't know what the verbiage has to be, because if we find something, do we have the right to go back and change a grade? Because how long does it take to get the reports back? I think they're improving, but there used to be such a lag between, okay, they took finals and you have to submit grades by Tuesday, and then Friday you find out they cheated. How are we logistically? And I know that there's no magic answer for that. It takes time.
I can answer that. We are guaranteed to have a turnaround of 24 hours. I personally will recommend you have your exams taken up to Friday. That will give you enough time to get the feedback in 24 hours. The kind of feedback you will receive will be something like this. I erase the names because this is from one of the students. And you get a report in which you will see what happened on the exam. You also will have flags in case something went wrong. You will be able to see the images of the students that they were took during the exam. And if there is some screenshots from the computer, they will be also available. And also there will be a video somewhere here that will last for about a week, in which you will see the whole exam if you have to, or if you want to.
Yeah, so Proctor has tried to streamline as much as possible so the teacher can just look at the flagged parts of the video, or not look at the video at all if they want. It's up to the teacher. And they were by far the best in terms of the response time. Guaranteed 24 hours was really good, we thought.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. So these reports are only generated if there's an incident that the proctor wanted to.
No, these reports are generated of the whole session. You can check the students who didn't have any problem to the ones that have all the problems. So you can see all the exams if you want.
So you can watch any student take the full exam.
You may want to do that. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't want to, you got the summary like the one I'm showing on the screen, and then you also have flags in cases there is a problem.
Does this? You said they only keep it for a week. Does that mean Park has to do some kind of storage in case a student comes with a grade appeal? Because that can take a little while. Are we going to store video or whatever for grade appeals?
I don't know.
This is something new to me as well. I thought they will keep all the information for semesters, and they say that they have to take it out because of FERPA violations after a week. So I don't know what the university will plan to do in that case. We have to.
Is it a FERPA violation for us to have the video of somebody passed a week? I mean, because I know appeal takes more than a week to do. So
we'll bring that up to the task force committee.
Okay.
That's a very important issue that has not been addressed.
Guillermo, I have a question. This is Marcia. You know each other from Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Does it monitor the behavior on the computer, or only what the proctor observes through the webcam?
Both, the webcam and the computer.
Okay, so they actually get into the exam and they can see if somebody sent emails or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're trained to look at the student's eyes. Yeah, they take it very seriously.
I was going to ask about the availability of proctors. Do they have like normal business hours that the students would be able to proctor, or so I'm assuming a student can't decide to take their test at 1 a.m., right?
They're very flexible.
I think
They
it's
schedule in
24/7.
advance.
Schedule in advance.
And if you do it within less than 48 hours, the student pays an extra fee out of their own pocket. We won't pay for that.
But that's debatable. I think university will pay for that, because that's one of the observations I made to Becky, and she said, we will see what happens if that comes to be too excessive. But at the moment, they will not have to pay. But the thing is that
do anything before 48
Someone will
hours.
pay a late fee.
Yeah, but they can schedule at any time. The only caveat we have recently learned is that if they do it during the week at normal hours, office hours, the chances that they will be proctored by somebody in America are higher than if they do it after hours or in the weekend, because then they will be sent to the Philippines offices that are open at that time at night.
And kind of related to that, if you have somebody like I've had in Afghanistan and all that, I don't know that I'd like to be called or even emailed at 3 a.m. I'd be happy to respond, but I don't know that I'd always be available. How's that going to work?
Well, if you put the hours that you don't want to be disturbed from 1 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the morning, they will not call you. That's why that area is important.
Well, aside from the calls, though, they can email, and I mean, that's like a whole week of trying to figure out when you're going to be available. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thank
for
you,
working on
John
this.
and
This is
Guillermo.
great.
So,
Big project. Yes, very big project.
thank you all for joining us online. Guillermo, if you stop sharing your screen, thank you. And hopefully you all will join us for the deep dive this Friday.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bringing in
Oh, yeah.
Chris Hansen.
Okay, sorry, I thought it was
You
about
better-
this.
you
I thought
better
it was
be
about
there.
this. I thought you were saying there was another session for this.
So Stacy,
Um,
the only audience members were the ones that we could see up there, is that right?
No, there were more.
Oh, there were?
Yeah, there were several more.
If,
So I
if
we did it.
so if I,
Your name's John.
this is what
What's your
I'm
name?